What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here. Hope you guys are having a good first Monday to 2022. And welcome to the Matt McKeever Unfiltered channel. I saw a bunch of you just sub to the channel recently because I was just live on the Canadian real estate channel. So again, if you're new here, maybe you've just stumbled into what I'm kind of doing on this channel, I really encourage you jump back to some of the other videos we've made. I love the Matt McKeever Marijuana Monday Madness. That's what this is. Although I forgot to pack a bowl, so I'm not sure if we're going to smoke weed tonight, but it's right there, so maybe we will. But essentially, I really encourage you guys, go watch some of the videos that I've actually already put together about what we're doing at the Citadel. It'd be amazing to have more people learn about it, potentially participate in regards to it as well. We've actually got a Discord channel, and there's a link in the Discord or in the video description down below, I believe, to the Discord channel. Really encourage you guys to check it out. There's a lot of great people, a lot of great vibes and interesting things going on there. So really encourage you guys to check it out. And I also forgot, I meant to get this ready in advance. That's my bad. But also wanted to put together, we're going to be kind of transitioning or adding a feature to these Monday night hangouts. So my plan is to bring this back on a reoccurring weekly basis. So those of you that have been missing me, awesome. Those of you that have been just wanted to hate watch, well, now, here you go again. But we're also going to be adding a mailbag feature. So essentially, I'm going to put out my PO box, and essentially, you guys have the opportunity to send me handwritten letters, postcards, random trinkets or bobbits or whatever you kind of want to do. And I think it'll just be kind of a fun way for us to engage. So if that's something you'd be interested in, let me know in the comment section. And I kind of screwed up this video, so I'll just add it as a comment after the live play here. So if you guys are interested in, potentially mailing myself or Peter or anyone else at the Citadel something, good vibes only. But, it'd be fun. I think it'll be cool. I'd love to just get postcards from you guys, read them off, and have it be a bit more of a two-way conversation. So beginning in February, my goal is essentially, as long as you guys someone sends me some piece of mail, we'll do a Monday night hangout. If it turns out no one sends me any mail in the month of February, then we won't do these hangouts. And essentially, it's kind of it's a way to make sure both of us are bought into the process. But anyways, tonight, what I'm going to be chatting with you guys about is some of the big goals, the big plans that I've got for 2022. I'd love to hear what your plans are, what sort of goals you've set for yourselves. I think we don't need a new year in order to reset things or take on new challenges or anything of that nature. But it's just kind of a good excuse, right? We've already been kind of pre-programmed to think of new year, new you. So why not lean into the opportunity and try and make the most of the situation we find ourselves in? And again, it's a reoccurring theme I talk about nonstop almost at this point in time, but no one's going to care more about your future, about your family, about your money, about your personal situation than you. So it's really important that you lean into your personal agency, that you decide to start treating life as a choose your own adventure, because far too many people and far too many Canadians have been treating the last 2 years as if I'll just wait until things get back to normal. Then I'll buy, real estate. Then I'll start learning about Bitcoin or NFTs. Then I'll start, trying to get into shape or take care of my health. No, I literally just saw earlier today, Ontario announced new restrictions, new random things around the word that I try not to say so I don't get shadow banned so much on social media. But essentially, it's important that we understand that we need to take personal agency here. And I encourage you guys to find ways to take back control of your lives as much as possible. Far too many people are at the behest of the government. They're at the mercy of their employers. And again, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of employers are in tough positions. I empathize with them, but I think it's important we all start standing up and speaking out in that regards. And that's a big part of what I'm trying to do with the Citadel. So while I've got it top of mind, I'm just going to do a screen share here with you guys. And here you should be seeing, yeah, there we go. You should be seeing my Matt McKeever Unfiltered YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked it out, I really encourage you to watch this video that gives you the full tour of the property. So, that came out just 3 months ago. Man, time flies. And then there's also this one, which is actually my manifesto. So it's like a 7-minute video. It's the most popular video we've had on the channel, over 1,000 views. And it's just me for, 5-6 minutes talking about exactly what I'm trying to do here. Now, you don't necessarily need to drop everything, sell everything, opt out of the system, and come move and join me at the Citadel. That would be cooler if you did. But you should be taking control of your own life, whether that's starting to grow a garden, whether that's starting to focus on building passive income, whether that's paying off your debt, whether that's just learning some new useful skills or trying to upgrade your skill set or find ways to telecommute. Whatever that looks like for you and your personal situation, I really want to encourage you guys to lean into opportunities in 2022. Do not let 2022 be another write-off year like a lot of people left 2000 or 2020 and 2021. And yeah, otherwise, let's talk about some of the stuff I'm hoping to tackle in 2022. I think this will be a little bit of a shorter video, but again, if you guys have any questions, jump in the comment section. I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions. I'd love to hear, again, what your New Year's resolutions are, what your goals and plans are. And if you've got any cool predictions for 2022, I'd love to hear them, particularly the more positive ones, because I think a lot of us know that lockdown season is unfortunately likely here to stay, and that, welcome to the new normal. But let's get into some of my plans. So if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I've recently been sharing in the new year what some of my big plans are. And one of my big plans is to actually release some rap singles. So, the Hungarian Experiment and Adam Martin, I recently shared with them. And of course, my boy, Dan, the Lost Boy, or Dan, the NFT Boy. I've been sharing with them a song that I've been putting together. And it's actually been a really fun experiment, a really fun endeavor, very challenging and outside of my comfort zone. I will absolutely share it with you guys here first, but I'm not quite ready at the point where I can either spit live or am willing to share it with you guys live on the channel, but that is going to be coming in the future. And if you haven't been paying attention, I've actually been doing a bunch of stuff in regards to music as well as NFTs and all that stuff. The most recent thing and the biggest thing that I'm focused on is Project LB52. That is with Dan the Lost Boy. And it's a one-of-a-kind music NFT project. No one's ever done anything like this before. I'm actually really proud to be making NFT and music history by essentially helping Dan launch this custom audio creations project. It really is a one-of-a-kind, unique opportunity that we're trying to launch here. It's not going to be for everyone. It's not super cheap. It is a little pricey. So again, if you've got the means or you've got the desire to create a custom song, a theme song, anything like that, you really need to check this out, because if you participate, you end up with the commercial rights of that song where you can literally go upload it on Spotify. You can upload it on iTunes. You could sell it to Universal Studios or whoever. And again, whatever happens, but you got to kind of put your mark, put your stamp on this song and the culture in general. And that's a big part of what I see myself focusing on in 2022 as well, is fighting what I call the culture wars. And again, lots of other people refer to as the culture wars as well. But this idea that we need to really start speaking out and speaking our truth and sharing with people our general perspectives on what's going on in the world. Because I think a lot of you that likely subscribe to this channel, a lot of you that think similar to me, you're probably of the live and let live perspective. And I respect you a ton for that. And, I personally thought of myself as very much live and let live. However, those of us that are live and let live, we're often just focused on our grind. I'm just going to go focus on building my empire. I'm going to focus on putting myself in a better position, whether it's financially, from a health perspective, from a relationship perspective, whatever it is that you're focused on working on. And again, tip of the hat to you. That's fantastic. However, one of the big concerns I've got for the future is that the stuff that we're doing right now, the stuff that you're doing, crushing in your personal lives, is that going to be available for the next generation? So when I look at, my sister's kids, my two nieces and nephew, I really am concerned that they may not be able to make the most of their lives. They may not be able to get into real estate investing. They may not be able to build up passive income. They may struggle to get through our current education system due to all the lockdown, social distancing, and the quagmire of things that they're throwing at children these days. And it just doesn't feel right to me. I'm not okay with that. And so I personally feel a huge obligation and responsibility to try and stand up, speak out, try and help nudge the culture in what I believe to be the right direction. And those of you that are in a position to do so as well, and you don't need to be a YouTuber, you don't need to be a micro influencer, and that's really all I am, in order to do this. You can just be a great mom or a great dad or a great aunt or uncle or grandparent or whatever. But it's important you start sharing your values, your perspectives, and your life lessons with the next generation, because I'm so concerned for them. And, that's not what this video is about. So I'll try and keep myself from going down that rabbit hole. But in part and parcel of that concern around the culture wars is in 2022, I'm announcing it now to you guys. I will be releasing or launching a 22-minute cartoon pilot. So I'm really excited. I've been working on this project a long time. I still got way more work to do on it. If you guys know any great animators, particularly those that are used to working on shoestring budgets, slide into my DMs or get them to slide into my DMs, because I absolutely am going to self-fund this. I want to have full creative direction, or have me and a small team have full creative direction on this sort of endeavor. And if we get any sort of traction, I'll either continue to self-fund it or make sure that we're in complete control of the narrative. Because, again, I think we've got a responsibility to try and fight this culture war, to try and make an impact that's going to help the next generation understand that they're in control of their lives, and that they shouldn't just be turned into, daddy government, govern me harder, daddy, all that sort of stuff, in order to just, depend upon the government for all their financial, health, and every aspect of their life almost at this point seems to be controlled by the government. So I think it's really important we show them that there are different perspectives, that there are people outside of the existing system that can either build parallel institutions or just avoid the existing institutions to the best of their abilities. And again, that's a big part of what I'm trying to do here at the Citadel. I encourage you guys to, if you can't join me, go start your own Citadel. And again, you don't necessarily need to buy 20 acres in the middle of northwestern Ontario. It can be as simple as growing a balcony garden. It can be as simple as building deeper relationships with the people around you, family members, neighbors, community members, people, whatever. Just don't just accept the status quo. Don't just accept the status narrative, right? It's important that you be willing to think outside the box, that you research things, do your own due diligence. The same way with real estate investing, right? For years and years, I've tried to teach people financial independence, how to retire early here in Canada. I'm very proud of what I've accomplished, but at the same time, I can't actually force you to reach financial independence and retire early. I can't actually force you to build up passive income or build up a real estate portfolio. All I can do is lay out the path for you to the best of my ability and hope that some will partake in it. Some will lean into the opportunity as I'm presenting it. I think that we all have a responsibility to do so in regards to the culture as well. And I know more and more people are choosing to homeschool or partially homeschool their children. I think that's amazing. That's fantastic. And while it may not be right for everyone, I really encourage those of you that, regardless of whether you're homeschooling or your kids are still going through the current education system, don't let that simply be the end-all, be-all of their education. This idea of I'm just going to ship them to school, then at age 18, I kick them out of the house. I think that that's one of the worst things about our culture right now. Again, I could get on a giant tangent there, but that's not what this is about. As well, in 2022, my plans are to both complete as well as release a book or two. Now, why a book or two? Well, because I've got a couple of half-finished manuscripts already, so it'd kind of be cheating if all I did was finish up the one and release it. So again, we'll see whether I write something brand new, because what I originally wrote was kind of not for a lockdown era situation. It was more focused just on business and scaling your business and stuff like that. And obviously, I've experienced a huge shift in priorities, right? In 2021, I sold pretty much all my real estate. There's one or two properties I'm waiting for the transaction to close. But, by the end of January, I expect to own no real estate other than the Citadel and other adjacent sort of properties similar to what I'm doing here at the Citadel. I also essentially sold or gave away every single business. So honestly, I was thinking about this on New Year's Eve. I don't think that there's a single thing that I own now in 2022, other than two properties, which I'm just waiting to close on the sale of, that I owned in 2021. So that I owned pre-COVID. Essentially, literally, all the businesses I've let go of, all the real estate I've let go of, and I'm really trying to dial in and focus on this. And I think it's very important, and it's something that I'm really excited to take on, to participate in. And those of you that are interested in helping in whatever relationship you can, again, I'd love for you to reach out, slide into my DMs. Matt McKeever Unfiltered or the Discord channel are two of the best ways to get a hold of me. So again, really encourage you guys, as well as share with me other great Canadian content creators. The same way I built out my super team of real estate investors and my real estate network over the last 5 years, my goal now is to build out the same sort of super team in regards to Canadian micro influencers, Canadian politicians, assuming that there are any good ones. It's really hard for me when we're talking about the parasite class to believe that any are good, but there seems like there maybe are some genuinely good people in the PPC party. So again, I would love to get connected, build out my network in that regards, because this isn't a one-man fight. I'm definitely not a one-man army. I'm looking for allies and to grow my network, and really looking forward to that, because there's just something refreshing about taking on a new challenge. And again, I think 2022 is the perfect opportunity for me, as well as the perfect opportunity for you to lean in and take on those challenges. As well, starting next week, I'm going to be launching a weekday daily news show. And essentially, it's going to be all about stories that I believe Canadians should be aware of. I've been loving what I've seen, the likes of Steven Crowder, Tim Poole, You Are Here with Sydney Watson and Elijah Schaefer. I really love what they're doing, but I haven't found the right version of Canadiana being presented to us. So I want to try and fill in that gap. Now, again, I think there are different content creators out there, and I'm glad that everyone in Canada that's creating content, that's trying to fight the culture wars, is doing their thing. But I don't think anyone's doing exactly what I'm going to be aiming to do. And I hope to bring kind of a fresh and new perspective to that. That'll be here on the Matt McKeever Unfiltered channel. So again, appreciate those of you that have subscribed, those of you that have smashed the like button, because building a YouTube channel, whether you've already done it once before or not, is definitely a big challenge. And I appreciate all the support I get from you guys, the DMs on Instagram and on Discord. It really does mean a lot, and I appreciate those of you that speak out and use your platforms as well, that share with your family members and things of that nature, because it's a lot easier to just, be hide in silence, to simply like mope about, or woe is me, or like the world's unfair and there's nothing I can do. Find some small thing you can do in order to take back some control of your life. So again, weekly daily news show, weekday daily news show starting next week. And I may also be launching another NFT project in 2022. This one is going to be more based around events and experiences, and I want to really make sure I do it right. So it might take longer than a year to actually execute upon. So again, just stay tuned. The best way to stay in contact is in that Discord channel, but we will absolutely be hosting some one-of-a-kind events here at the Citadel. One of my biggest frustrations and concerns in 2020, as this all rolled out, as lockdowns began, was the relationships I'd built with personal networking. I just don't think can be replicated online or through a Zoom call. The Vegas entrepreneur experience, where myself and Jeff Weibel back in 2018 literally bought out for a weekend a boutique Vegas hotel, 63 rooms, and turned it into our private playground for entrepreneurs and just networking and real estate investors. Like right now, that shit would be really hard to pull off unless you own the hotel. So that's kind of why I bought this little resort here, is so that I can always control the venue, so that I don't have to worry about insurers the same way. I don't have to worry about, the owners of a property and their rules and regulations, their enforcement of certain things, whether I think those things are right or wrong, and all that jazz that I'll leave for you guys to read between the lines. But this property, this location, this resort really gives me the opportunity to host one-of-a-kind experiences. And so we're going to be rolling out all kinds of cool things here. Some will be free, some will be paid, some will be expensive as hell. But again, I really look forward to connecting and networking with all kinds of Canadians that want to try and make sure that Canada's on the right track. And spoiler alert, we are absolutely not on the right track right now with Justin Trudeau. So again, appreciate all the support I get from you guys. And reminder, we will be turning these Monday night shows into a little bit of a mailbag. So I'm going to post after this live stream my PO box, and I'd love for you guys to send me a postcard, a handwritten letter, anything like that, because I want to get back to a stronger connection with people. And I think that this could be a fun way to do it. If you guys start sending us lots of cool shit, we'll literally change the background here. I've got a giant cork board, and we'll bring in the cork board, and I'll start posting your postcards and your letters and things of that, because again, I really do appreciate the relationship that we've built over the last 5 years here on YouTube. And I really look forward to building newer, better, bigger, and stronger relationships in 2022 with you guys as well. So appreciate those of you jumping in the comment section. I'm going to hit up some of your answers here, but again, at least for tonight, it just kind of feel wrong if I didn't smoke any weed. So let me quickly grab some homegrown. That was a gift from a friend. Really appreciate it, Jason. And yeah, I got, and this was actually a gift too that way back in the day, someone mailed me this grinder. It says it's 420 sometimes. Yeah, somewhere. All right, we'll do a little bit, smoke a little bit. Oh, I don't even have the. This is going to be kind of a ghetto smoking experience. You guys are just going to have to lean into it. But really appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Monday night as always. And I hope your 2022 is getting off to a good start. And if it's not, don't panic. Literally, like if you were like, January 1st, I'm going to start a new diet. I'm going to start saving money. And you fell off the wagon day one. Please don't wait a whole nother year to get back up on the wagon. Just lean into it and decide day 2. Right now it's day 3. Start on day 4. Just start making incremental progress. Now, for some of us, I think it's easier to take on big challenges with hard rules. For other people, moderation is a lot easier. If you guys have heard me talk about my experiences in the past, right or wrong, I'm kind of an all or nothing sort of guy, right? So, moderation with alcohol, it was actually pretty hard. We're just going complete teetotaler and not drinking any alcohol for, from 2018, 2019, and 2020 was way easier for me than trying to drink with moderation. So find out what works for you and your personal situation and make the most of it. And again, don't be afraid to experiment. If you're always winning, you're not challenging yourself enough. And I think that that's a big mistake a lot of people make, is they're completely unwilling to ever look like a fool, to ever falter, to ever embarrass themselves, to ever make a misstep. And you're cheating yourself. Life is such a fascinating long-term adventure. To only do things where you're going to be 100% successful or there's no chance of embarrassment, I think is foolish. I really think that you do a disservice to your short time. You're both long and short time here. Like, life is both short and very long, I guess. Because again, like, here I am at 36. I quit my day job 5 years ago. And before that, like, I built a career, built my real estate portfolio, I love the idea of taking on new challenges, of constantly growing and expanding. Again, it maybe isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I really encourage you to be open to new challenges in 2022. Again, whatever your goals are, make sure that you're in control of it, right? So a little tangential here, but when it comes to goal setting, it's really important that you reverse engineer the steps, right? That you set SMART goals. But one of the things that I've regularly taught to my real estate and business coaching clients and all that stuff is the idea of lead and lag measures. So a lead measure is something that comes before the success. A lag measure is something that comes after the success. And if you want to really get deep into this subject matter, an amazing book for you to read in 2022 would be the 4 Disciplines of Execution. I think that's a Stephen Covey book, or his son, something like that. And anyways, really encourage you guys to take it on. Looks like my internet just disconnected. I hope you guys can still see me, because some reason I'm on Wi-Fi now. But anyways, really encourage you guys, check out the 4 Disciplines of Execution, amazing book. And in it, it really explores this idea of lead and lag measures. And so a lead measure is something where you're in complete control. So when we talk about like wholesaling real estate, making an offer is a lead measure because I completely control it. I can't force you to accept the offer I make, but I can control how many offers I make. Where the lag measure is assigning the deal or cashing the check at your lawyers, or getting the check from your lawyers. That's a lag measure because it actually lags when the actual event of success has occurred. So again, a lot of people focus too much just on the end result, not understanding what are the dominoes I need to set up and knock over in order to get to the destination that I want to find myself in. So again, I'm sorry, guys, this is a little ghetto. I took the long stem off of this because it got clogged and I haven't unclogged it yet. So I'm just going to kind of smoke it straight from the pipe. But I hope you guys are having a great Monday, and then I'll jump into your comments here. All right. Strange, when I looked for you, it never showed. Oh man, that's too bad. If it's getting hard to find me on YouTube, I apologize, but really appreciate those of you that go the extra mile to stumble upon this YouTube channel. Andrew saying, real estate question: how could parties enter or exit a house ownership after the initial purchase? Well, like one, you could obviously sell it, right? If you wanted to enter or exit the ownership. Otherwise, you could go to your lawyer, right? And essentially, they're going to register on title the change in ownership. Now, one thing you're going to have to be aware of, right, is your lenders likely aren't going to like that. So you're going to have to check with your mortgage provider and see whether that's something that they're actually going to be willing to allow you to do, or if there's a way for you to navigate it. It's, to the best of my knowledge, it almost never happens that you're able to change title without changing the mortgage as well. So, let's say you own the property 100% and then you want your buddy to come in and own 50% of it after you close on the deal. Well, no lender is going to be fine with title changing without your buddy coming in and having to essentially also be on the mortgage documents. So just be aware of that. If you're getting into kind of complex finessing of transactions, really talk through it with your mortgage agent or mortgage broker, as well as with your lawyer. Because really, again, I'm not saying this is you, Andrew, but just for anyone that finds themselves in that situation, a lot of real estate investors just assume, I'll figure it out. There'll be a way to make this work. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't, but it's much better knowing that going into the transaction rather than being caught off guard after the fact. Can I reach out to you for help, or do you not do any freebies ever? It's really hard these days. Just there's a lot of people that would like to, have my one-on-one time. I'm precious with it because, again, I've only got so many hours left here on this planet. For those of you that do want to book paid coaching calls, there is that option that you can find in my my link tree on Instagram for the Matt McKeever 85 account. It's not cheap, so it's like $500 for half an hour, I believe we've got set at. That's likely not a good fit for everyone, and I totally get that. But again, if you do book one of those, I try and provide as much value as I can on that call. However, what I would encourage you to do is go back. There's literally thousands of hours of videos I've shot. There's almost nothing I haven't already discussed on this YouTube channel. Now, is it a bit of a pain in the ass sorting through all that stuff? Absolutely. But you know what was a bigger pain in the ass? Creating all that amazing free content. As well, if you go to my website, mattmckeever.com, there's, I believe we've got almost a dozen free e-guides and ebooks out there, again, covering a lot of different subject matter. And it takes a lot of time and energy and money to produce all this, especially when we're talking about like literally all the free content. But that doesn't mean it's not valuable. Essentially, what I charge for is my time, right? Because I can't get it back. Where when I can do scalable interactions, such as, write a free e-guide, absolutely. Now, every now and then, do I make exceptions? Yeah, I do. But you really need to stand out. Are you a regular commenter? Are you regularly supporting and sharing my content? And this doesn't just work with me. This works with like any content creator, right? Those of you that kind of watch in silence and then never interact with me or my content or other influencers' content until you make an ask, it's really easy for us to ignore it, right? So again, not saying that's UKHH, but it certainly can be for a lot of people. So again, whether you're trying to slide into my DMs and get free advice, or whether it's with another influencer, start building up that relationship, right? Like think of it as like, you don't just immediately try and close the deal on anything. You try and build rapport with the individual, whether you're making sales, whether you're trying to start a romantic relationship. People, it's a lot easier or a lot harder for people to say no to you if they like you. But if you're a complete stranger, it's a lot easier for them just to shoot you down. Hey, what's up, Alan? Always appreciate seeing you in the comments section. And hope your 2022 is off to a great start. Again, this is actually a great example. Alan's constantly interacting. He's been to a bunch of events that we've held in the past, both paid and free events. And again, it's just easier when you guys are constantly interacting for us to kind of know you, right? To know your avatar. Again, even small things like having your face, right, makes a difference. Or even just having like a cartoon avatar or something. When you're completely a ghost on social media, again, there's just so many people that are willing to just kind of take without ever giving back, that if there's not a human side presented to it, I just think it's a lot easier for people to turn you down. Andrew saying Elon Musk has a great online school for kids called Synthesis. I never heard of that. I'm going to get my sister on that ASAP. Appreciate the heads up. Richard saying, so is the plan to do short-term accommodations at the Citadel or rentals? Would be cool to rent one of the cabins for a few weeks in the summer. Yeah, so we're going to have a mix between short and longer-term rentals here. And, some will be short-term rentals just around specific events. There'll be other opportunities where you guys can come and potentially just hang out and interact with us. And again, it's not even just me here at the Citadel. Peter the Hungarian Experiment's here as well. In addition, there'll probably be regularly guest appearances at the Citadel from, all the cast of characters you came to know and love off my YouTube channel. So I know Mike Rosehart plans on making a trip here. Adam Martin will be here a bunch. There's a lot of fun people that are going to be here. I look forward to attracting a lot of cool individuals as well and hosting some one-of-a-kind events. That's a big part of my 2022 goals. Bite Hunter saying, it sounds like you have a great destination resort. Appreciate it. Yeah, again, it's definitely a work in progress. It wasn't all turnkey. About half the buildings were turnkey. The other half are in different states of disrepair. But it's a fun project. We're going to fix things up. And certainly once we get it done, it's going to be a one-of-a-kind joint. And I'm looking forward to just having a cool place to hang out with cool people. Again, get back to the basics of building a fun relationship. Well, feel free, Andrew, to hit us up with any recommendations for Toys for the Lake. We've already got a handful of boats. I recently just got a snowmobile the other day. We're looking to get one more snowmobile because, when people come and visit, they're going to want to go snowmobiling, and other people are going to want to go snowmobiling with them. So I plan on having some really fun shit here. I was saying to Peter the other day that I wanted to get a pinball machine in the spring. And then actually, you guys let me know in the comment section. A bunch of you are younger than me, so this may not hit home the same way. But, which would you choose if you're going to have one arcade machine in your house or in like your man cave? Again, I think I want OG stuff. I don't want one of those one-up arcades that's got every game in it. I don't know. I'm just old school and analog. So is it the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade game? Is it the X-Men arcade game? And then let me know as a bonus if you're a real hardcore arcade game nerd from back in the day. Would you be okay with just the I think, is it the 2-player or 4-player X-Men, or there was the expanded like 6-player X-Men and it had like 2 double 32-inch screens? Those are way harder to find. I've only been able to find them in the States. And but fuck, I should just buy one of those. I think I talked myself into it. But anyways, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, X-Men, or The Simpsons. Let me know which one of those 3 machines, if you're going to only have one arcade machine in your man cave, would you choose? And I think as far as cost go, it goes X-Men's by far the big one is the most expensive. And then I think actually probably Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and The Simpsons is cheapest. It seems like there's a lot of The Simpsons machines. But anyways, let me know in the comment section. I'd love to know. And then there's probably a game I'm forgetting. So if you really strongly feel like you've got a better game than one of those 3, let me know in the comments. But you better bring it. And definitely get a pinball machine because that's just fun. Blade Hunter saying, I would smoke with you, but I cannot find my sativa weed. I thought I left it next to the microwave. I've definitely left things all over the house, especially when I'm smoking weed. AirPods are one thing that I'm impressed how rarely I lose them. Personally, me knowing me, I'd expect me to lose it more. Colin saying, glad to see you back on YouTube more regularly, man. I'm curious about why Northern Ontario versus Alberta. Great question, Colin. So I've maybe touched upon this briefly. I was open to anywhere in Ontario outside of Quebec. And honestly, Quebec was really tempting because there's some amazing mansions. There's this one with like a crazy indoor pool and giant glass atrium. But the taxes, the French people, all those issues, just when you're thinking about Quebec, just drove me away from it. But I was open to literally everywhere else in Canada. There was a couple of close calls where we came close to buying in the Muskoka area, one where we came close to buying near Kelowna, BC. There was another one near, it was further BC, like Fort, I can't remember it. And yeah, I came close to wanting to buy a house there. But something, or Prince George, maybe. Is that the one in northern BC? Alberta had some interesting properties, but nothing that just really jumped out. I kind of wanted waterfront. So again, that makes Alberta a little bit more of a challenge. But there's a multitude of factors that went into why I ended up choosing this property. One of them being simply that we're almost dead center in the middle of Ontario, or in the middle of Canada. So it's like a 25, 30 hour and change drive to the West Coast. And it'd be roughly, about that drive to Montreal. So to me, we're kind of in an interesting spot where if, let's say they're never going to let my ass on an airplane again, which right now doesn't seem impossible. Again, if I got to drive everywhere, being dead center in the middle, kind of attractive. But one of the other big factors was it's actually very affordable to buy in this area. So I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I'm kind of a frugal dude. But secondly, a huge part of my audience is also very frugal and value oriented. I wanted to try and find an area where almost anyone could, in theory, move here. So technically, the reality I live in, not a single one of you guys has an excuse for not dropping everything and moving here, because you can find land for $1,000 an acre if you're buying it in bulk, as in dozens and dozens of acres. You might even, and it doesn't need to be workable or all pasture land. You can likely get in at under $1,000 an acre. There's literally a house for sale less than a 5-minute drive from where I am. It's a fixer upper, but from where I am, they just did a price reduction, and I think it's $54,000 or $56,000 right now. There's a triplex that's within an hour and a half drive. I walked through it. It's a good enough property. 2015, 2016, Matt would have been all over this property. I've got no doubt in my mind. 2022, Matt is I need to take on bigger challenges, but essentially this triplex is, I know you could get for about $100,000 if you negotiated a bit, and you could live in one of the units. If you were willing to live in the bachelor unit, you could be getting about, I think, $1,400 or $1,500 a month in gross rents. You'd have less than a $500 mortgage, save $500 for property taxes and utilities, and you're cash flowing $500 a month. You could essentially, with $20,000 down, buy this property, move into the one little, it's a small unit, but you'd move into it, and that'd be your base. And to me, you're almost fired by just owning this one triplex. Now, I walked through it. It seems solid enough. It's actually way better condition than you're likely expecting. Metal roof. They redid 2 of the units on the inside. Anyways, that was a big factor in wanting to buy this property. I also wanted a bit of space. So just buying an acre on Muskoka Lake, while badass and probably more expensive than I'd ever be willing to pay, it still isn't enough breathing room. Where the property we ended up with is 20 acres, and just over 20 acres, and it's surrounded primarily by crown land, and it's on pretty much a semi-private lake where only less than a dozen other people are on our lake, and yet we're only a 7-minute drive to Lake of the Woods, which is this huge lake system, world famous fishing, all that good stuff. So there was a multitude of factors that ended up leading me to this property. Now, maybe I've just rationalized so much up until this point that, I've backtracked and talked myself into why this is literally the perfect property, but I definitely now these days believe it's the perfect property. Although there was one or two that I lost out on bidding wars with that would have been cool. There was one that had an indoor pool and an indoor squash court. Never even played squash, and I was like, that seems really fun and cool. There was another one out in BC that had a beautiful indoor pool and woodwork, and all these properties I was looking at are below replacement cost, as in you would literally spend more money today building it than you would buying it. And again, value investor focused on that. And if I end up buying a resort in the Bahamas or in Florida, I'll also be very value oriented in that regards. All right. Well, we've gone a little bit longer than I expected, but I appreciate you guys engaging. So I'm going to try and hit through all these questions and comments, and then I'm going to go eat because I haven't eaten yet. I never say much because I live in Hammond, Indiana, USA, and am not Canadian. Yeah, but at the same time, Bite Hunter, I recognize you in your profile photo because you've definitely interacted multiple times on these live streams. Do you do one-on-one calls? Yes, we chatted about that just a little bit earlier. It is pricey, though. So, again, I'm not saying it's for the faint of heart or the light of pocket. It's $500 for half an hour. I really encourage you guys, go read a bunch of ebooks. Go watch all my free YouTube videos. There's so much good content. Actually, here's a little pro tip when it comes to YouTube. And I've never heard someone kind of share this, but when you're dealing with content creators, personally, I'm of the opinion the longer the video, likely the more stacked the value. So like when I discover someone cool or interesting, but like, they've maybe got a paid funnel or like there's some sort of paid interaction you can have with them. The first thing I do is go and watch their like hour-long videos, because it's oftentimes just like cuts or segments from their actual presentations or from like lessons they taught, because a lot of them are just, they're not going to make an hour of fluff. We're trying to make a 5 or 10 minute viral video of fluff is way more common. So I would, again, focus on longer videos. I'd like to also think that's true of mine. Obviously, live videos are a mixed bag. Ooh, Pac-Man is a classic, but I think I would get bored of it compared to the other ones I named. Space Invaders, that would be good too. Teenage Super Ninja Turtles, that's what I'm saying. It's pretty cool. Galaga, yeah, that's another classic one. Again, I kind of like having a little bit nicer graphics. I saw this Street Fighter. Yes, that's true. And I was trying to think, was it Street Fighter versus X-Men or Street Fighter versus Killer Instinct? One of those two was really fun and cool as well. Hey, what's up, Katie? Appreciate the jump in the comments. Yeah, Street Fighter. Aislan, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Wait, no Street Fighter. Wait, no Mortal Kombat. Yeah, all those are classics. I just grew up being a super Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fanboy. Like, I'm sure most kids that grew up in the early 90s, you collected at least one type of action figure, and mine was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And, I had Splinter, I had the 4 Turtles, I had like Bebop, I had Rocksteady, I had like the robot version, I had the Donatello version that like went in the bathtub with you, where you could wind it up and his legs went and stuff like that, and he could swim. So again, an extra soft spot for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't even remember the arcade game that much. Honestly, it could be the worst arcade game to play, but I just remember it being amazing as a kid. Although I'm positive X-Men was amazing, because I just remember one rainy day at Canada's Wonderland where we went there as like a youth group, and it poured rain and they closed all the rides. And so like the first thing you do is pour into the arcade. And I think I'm remembering this correctly. I think you could have 6 players playing on the big double screen one, and just like myself and 5 good friends, like we literally just sat there until we ran out of money because it was pouring rain, and that was just a great experience. Yeah, pinball is also fun just because anyone can play pinball, right? Like your grandpa would understand the mechanics behind pinball, and so there's something fun and very introductory about that, where everyone can try and get the high score, but then you also, I don't know, you need the visual titillation of like a arcade cabinet as well. Peter saying Mortal Kombat. KHH, that's what I wanted to help my friend, because I wanted you to help me plan an exit from Mississauga so I can move closer to where you're at. Oh, man, well, join the Discord. If you've got questions like that, like join the Discord, and I'm really happy to try and help people find ways. Again, it doesn't even have to be to move up here. It can be like, hey, Matt, you know what? I want to get out of the big city and set myself up for XYZ, for my family, Really interested in trying to help in that regards, and the Discord is a great way to start that conversation. And again, if I think you're sincere and serious, there's always the opportunity that you can twist my arm and I'll try and help more. Honestly, I must wasted 100K when I was a kid on Street Fighter. Hands down the best fun game ever. Yeah, absolutely a classic. All right, well, appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this video. If you haven't smashed the like button, do me a favor, smash the like button. If you haven't let me know your favorite arcade game as a kid, let me know in the comments section, because I would be curious, and maybe there is a game I'm overlooking that I'd rather more, but I think those ones are classics. And I hope you guys decide to crush 2022, because it absolutely is up to you. Life is a choose your own adventure. It's simply a matter of deciding that you want it bad enough. And honestly, when I look back on my life, any failure, any stumble, any mistake I made, I almost always can reverse engineer a way where I was probably at fault for it. And had I just wanted it more, had I just focused more, had I just worked harder, I likely could have accomplished it. And it's why I'm so thankful and grateful that I've been able to stumble forward so much already in my life. I really just want to encourage you guys to do the same, because again, I want you guys to go on to accumulate money and power so that you can decide someday to also help try and nudge the culture in the right direction. Because at this point in time, I don't think we can trust any politicians. I don't think we can trust this the cathedral. I don't think we can trust the universities. I don't think we can trust anyone. I think you need to build your own community. You need to take responsibility for contributing and being a net contributor to your local community. Because for far too long, I think we've been live and let live without trying to make sure we leave things a better place. So appreciate you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks, guys.